The quest for one more Team of the Year player for the Not a Dollars begins after making Nathan MacKinnon and Connor McDavid in the first week of Team of the Year. It's an all-out rush to try and make a third and final Team of the Year item for the team. Now, before we get into who I'm going to make as my third and final Team of the Year item, we got to discuss something that was mentioned on last episode, and that was the issue of Connor McDavid's Team of the Year item, as well as Nathan MacKinnon's, as their stamina was just completely getting crushed every time you use them, and a lot of the community kind of thought that it was gold wheels and edges on some of the fastest cards in the game that was leading to just their stamina being wiped out entirely.
Can of corn and I'll be fine.
Now, after a few games, I've got to admit, they just could not stay on the ice after one single rush. So I tried a couple things. The first was to go into my strategies, and I changed efficiency and energy slider all the way down to efficiency for that first line. Now, I played a few games with that, and I gotta be honest with you, nothing really changed. It was extremely frustrating still. McDavid and MacKinnon both wiped out of energy very quickly. So then I decided, let's try and just remove wheels, which sucks because that's a whole big benefit of why you have the card. But what happens if you just take wheels off of MacKinnon and McDavid? Would that have any effect on their stamina? Well, early indication kind of fixed it. Crazy. Bang! There it is. All right. The boys are good. Take wheels off of them and we're golden. Probably should have sent that over to Yzerman. Woo! We are cooking! Oh. Buddy, let's go. Oh, nah! Nah! Oh, no! Connor! Put him on a poster. So if you have Nathan MacKinnon or Connor McDavid's Team of the Year item, like I said, if you're struggling with the stamina and it's running out almost immediately and you're finding it super frustrating, try taking wheels off for a few games and throwing it back on. See if that works. I can only give you from my own personal experience. I noticed it pretty quickly. So with the release of the Defense and Goalie Team of the Year winners, we finally had a full picture of all of the Team of the Year player items. And when it comes to my team specifically, I did really want to make one more Team of the Year player item, and it was definitely going to be on defense. Now, I talk a lot about team context when building Team of the Year player items. For example, in the position that I'm in, Cale Makar's Team of the Year item is never going to be better than the 99 fantasy Colton Parayko. There's no way to make Cale 6'6", and when everyone gets 99s across the board, it's really just the bigger players that are usually better. I'm okay with the ability points costing something because you've got to use your ability points on some players. So right off the rip, that means that if I make Cale Makar, he's going to push Axel Sandin Pellikka down, or really he's just going to play third line. I'd probably play Cale on the second unit though. The other option, and where I'm weaker in my opinion, is left-handed defenseman. However, the two options are obviously Quinn Hughes of the Vancouver Canucks, as well as Megan Keller, who in my opinion is one of the best Team of the Year items right now, simply because she has a fantasy item, and she is going to increase through progression faster than EA has control over, because if she scores in real life, she goes up by +2. So in reality, if we were going strictly for the best competitive team, I'd probably make Megan Keller. That would push Bork and Hedman down. I'd be able to take Shea Theodore off, but that's really what would improve my defense and my team overall the most. However, we use our favorite players on this team. We won't bow down to the meta overlords and make sure that we have the most min-max squad possible. So that being said, of all of my options, my favorite player among the bunch is easily Cale Makar, one of my favorite players to watch in real life. And regardless of how my team is made up, I'm going to make my favorite player. So the quest for Cale Makar is going to be a difficult one. Now, since I had 0 collection left after making McDavid and MacKinnon, needed to take advantage of one of the best values that they've released in the store, and that was the 3x87 overall pack that was in the store for 160,000 coins. That essentially gave you one free 87 overall for the same amount of coins. So since I had about 160,000 coins left, easy decision for me to take advantage of that pack, and that got us 3 closer to the 15 I needed. The other thing I'm still putting all of my resources in is in the XP path. I'm doing the 83 and above choice set. I still think this is the safest and best value if you are trying to make a Team of the Year item. If you have absolutely 0 shot of making a Team of the Year item, then you might want to risk it with the 82 or 87 pack. But if you don't get an 87, you're really SOL. And in the 83 and above pack, I legit haven't gotten anything below an 85 yet, so I keep continuing to use those to try and get as many cards as I can to make my car. Now, the other focus is on the collectibles. So you get the 5 daily in the store every single day. And currently, after cashing 1 in, I've got another 5, so 8 total so far. And I should be able to get another 20 just by doing the daily pack in the store. That will net me another 87 overall. However, I know a lot of people are trying to get as many collectibles as possible. And I know specifically people are having a lot of trouble with the Megan Keller Hut moment. So I thought that I would throw in how I was able to complete this one just to show how it was done. So the first thing I would recommend is once you get to the jersey selection screen, if you click in on the left thumbstick, you can player lock a position. I would choose the left defense, obviously because that's Megan Keller. In my opinion, I find this to be far easier because you don't have to player switch and get the right player. And not only that, you can call for passes and kind of give the puck back very easily. So I would definitely player lock, again, if you were looking for some tips to make it easier. Now, I'll keep it real with you guys. Wasn't the easiest moment to complete. And if you experience a ton of frustration and after about a half an hour you're not getting anywhere, I would probably just bail out. You're missing out on essentially 4 collectibles. So unless those are going to make or break you making a Team of the Year item, don't stress too much. Oh, that didn't count. Oh, excellent. All right, now I'm starting to see the annoyance here. Please go get the puck. Oh, this game, man. Yeah, this is one of the more annoying ones. God damn, dude. You just can't get close enough. And then you're out of stamina the other way. Like... Now, when I was successful, here was the formula that I used. Essentially, I would wait until my opponent was streaking down the boards in the offensive zone and just make sure I had body position in front of the player. If you are struggling and missing your stick lifts, like you simply just can't get the timing down right, also consider going to like the classic camera angle or something that is more zoomed in, because that might help you because you're too far zoomed out if you're using overhead or zone. Also, don't forget, this goes for any moment, is if you need extra time, make sure you pull your goalie so that the AI can score and tie it up. Same situation if it's like a scoring moment or anything like that. If you're up by 2, they will pull their goalie in the last minute, so make sure you're maximizing as much as you can to get your advantages to complete some of these moments. So here is where things stand with 5 days to go. I was able to get the 90 overall base Team of the Year Cale Makar item, and I've got 5 other 87 overalls out of the total 10 that I need, so I need 5 more in the next 5 days. One of those 87 players is going to be the 88 Dougie Hamilton. Since he is going to be replaced by Cale Makar, I'm cool with just throwing him into the set. So essentially I need 4 more. And then I'll also tackle Wildcard, which will effectively give me close to another one via collectibles. I can also finish off the rest of the moments to maximize yet another 87 overall. Now, when it comes to my games this week, I gotta be honest with you, between my birthday and a bunch of other stuff that was going on, I just really didn't get a chance to play, which is unfortunate because obviously with Team of the Year, making sure I do as much as I can to at least give myself another shot at Team of the Year items is super important. That being said, life happens. And I want to make it clear that just because you can't get everything that you want out of a week or an event, that the game is not going to pass you by all of that much. So if you aren't able to finish a weekend of Hut Champs or finish out 30 wins of squad battles or rivals, I promise you, it's going to be okay. Now, when it comes to the rest of my team, when we get our next event on Friday, it's usually one of the least interesting events simply because there's no way to follow up Team of the Year and have cards that are of close to similar value. That being said, I'm really looking for another left-handed defenseman, so I hope we get a awesome left-handed defenseman, as well as another centerman. I'd like to move on from JT Miller, just not a fan of JT Miller. Happy for Rangers fans, but just not a huge fan, so I'm looking for a left-handed defenseman as well as a centerman, and hopefully a nice, shiny new Cale Makar Team of the Year card patrolling on the left side. So that's going to do it for this episode of No Money Spent. I'll see you next week. Have a good one.